never going to find deep desire. Like all of this stuff has to be architected. So people mistake the human animal for having these things hiding inside of them, and I will just give you the punchline. They do not. So no one is born with a passion, right? You would imagine me saying that Steve Jobs was born with a passion for technology. What if he had been born 7,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago? Would he still have that? Would he be dreaming of the iPhone? No, of course not. So where you grow up is going to influence your outcomes far more than who you are. Like, this is terrifying. The greatest predictor of your future success is the zip code in which you grow up. It's not your IQ. So when I was at Quest, my raging inferno, my reason for existing was to end metabolic disease. Well, now I'm doing impact theory, and I'm not thinking about metabolic disease anymore. I'm thinking about the poor mindset, and I'm trying to save people from their zip code is an easy way to think of it. And so I fanned those flames, which was something I wasn't even thinking about when I was at Quest. So it's like, you can very much pivot, you can decide, but it has to be something real. Like, these are real things. I really did care about ending metabolic disease because of my family. I really do care about the zip code being a predictor because of people I've loved in my life who've succumbed to that, and my inability to help them up to this point. So it's like, you take that initial spark and then you cultivate it like you would a fire. But to me, life is going to be a grand struggle until you understand that you are a chemical processing plant. And once you understand how to take control of the chemical processing, and then you can do virtually anything you want. You can create desire, you can stay focused, you can improve, but you really do have to put yourself in a position to adapt or die. Your body has to believe. Those are my two options, adapt or die. And then it really will adapt. And so I put myself under that insane amount of pressure to change my body, to change my mind, and then I've reaped dividends as a reward. So we used to joke that Quest was an overnight success 12 years in the making. So it was all the stuff that we did behind the scenes. Like, first of all, the guys who ended up becoming my partners in Quest first just hired me as a copywriter at their technology company. But they used to say to everybody, look, we're looking for partners. We settle for employees. So if you want to work your way up in the company, you could even earn your way into ownership. You just have to become the right person for the job. You're going to have to, essentially break yourself in half. And like, if you see the problems that we face and you help us overcome those problems, why wouldn't we make you a partner? Because you're making the pie bigger. If you want to be the chief marketing officer, you better be the one that knows more about marketing than anyone else. Like, if we were going to do an open call for this, you better be the right person for the role. And so I took them seriously, and I watched so many people like bounce. Either they couldn't keep up, it was a very intense environment, so a lot of people just couldn't handle the intensity. All right, motherfuckers, we're here to do this, and either you're in or you're out, you know what I mean? It was just intense, and it was the perfect thing for me. So what I needed to learn, I was very soft as a kid. Nobody told me to toughen up. I was a kid that would get hit in the leg with a soccer ball and start crying. And so now I was in an environment where it was like, yo, nobody here respects that, so like, you better fucking get it together. And that was exactly what I needed, which is why like I have a lot of pushback with where culture is going right now, because it doesn't serve, especially young men. It just doesn't serve to allow people to not, you got to toughen the fuck up. That's just the truth of it.
Right.
If you want to succeed, like, you don't have a moral obligation to be as soft as you want, but I'm here to tell you, if you have a vision of your life and where you want to go, it's going to be fucking hard. Think about running an Ironman. You have to toughen up. Like, you literally have to change your body to be capable of doing those things. And so the same is true of the mind. You have to train your mind to be capable of sticking through, working crazy long hours, learning things you don't want to do. Like, I will tell you right now, the thing that kills entrepreneurs faster than failure is boredom. People just can't do boring shit. They can't do it for extended amount of time. They can't like have a vision of who they want to become and fight through all the bullshit that they're going to have to get there. You're just going to have to. So it's like, that's why so few people end up succeeding, is just the level of tenacity you have to show is insane. It's crazy, but when you feel like you can help another human being alleviate suffering, like, people go all in, man. That is innate to us. We want to do that. We're gonna get this neurofeedback loop of, this feels awesome. I feel good. I feel urgency. Like, I cannot stop myself. I have to help. And that's so powerful. And if you can make your business about that, now all of a sudden, like, the thing for me, I hate working with my hands. I hate it. I hate grease on my hands, all that shit. And at Quest, I was the first of the 3 partners to go full time. So the other 2 continued running the software company, so we had like the fallback in case something went wrong, and I started Quest. and I was having to repair equipment, which is something I absolutely fucking hate. So when I was under equipment, and I'm talking like you're working, it's 2 a.m. on a Friday and your knuckles are bleeding from like trying to fix something, and you're thinking, what am I doing? I kept saying, I'm here to save my mom and my sister, because they were morbidly obese. And I knew if I couldn't give them food that they could choose based on taste that happened to be good for them, that I would literally lose them too soon. And so I was like, that's what this is about. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to get rich. I am here to save my mom and my sister. Like, if you don't understand that, like, you have to create a story, you've almost got to mythologize it. That's how you turn it into this, you know, inferno of desire. It's like, my mom and my sister didn't ask me to save them. It's not like they were in imminent peril, but it was, I chose to focus on that. Because I remember thinking, all right, I've got one partner who's really, really knowledgeable about nutrition. And I was like, if we're going to keep working together, we should be doing something around that. He wants to do something around that. How can I connect to that? Well, I could connect to that because if we're solving metabolic syndrome, then man, my family is like primary candidate number one. So I'm just going to think about them. And there's a quote, it's attributed to Mother Teresa, but I'm not sure she actually said it, but I'll give it to her anyway. And that is, no one will act for the many, but people will act for the one. So basically, stop thinking about solving the world's problems. Find somebody you know and love that has that problem and solve it for them. And so I was like, cool, my mom and my sister, that's all I'm going to think about. It's people I see all the time. I love them fucking dearly. I really don't want to lose them, so there's nothing that I have to fake. And then I just associate it to ending metabolic disease. If I can help them, the knock-on effect is that I'll help hundreds of millions, maybe 1 billion people. So, but when I'm under the machine and my knuckles are bleeding, I was definitely thinking of them. Dude, fucking get through this. You've got this. Don't back down, not for anything. Like, you can figure this out. And so, understanding the power of self-narrative and that I would get that cool thing, knowing that I was fighting for my mom and my sister, like getting the whole big story and telling myself over and over and over what I was doing. You hype yourself up. I mean, you state shift, right? So you go from being pissed that you're there at 2 a.m. on a Friday and your knuckles hurt to, all right, I'm a fucking stud. I will see this through. And it just changes your entire frame of reference. So it's both real and manufactured. You get tougher, you get stronger, and so you're capable of more. So now it's like, I used to work a lot back then, but I literally now, I'll wake up usually around 3 to 4 a.m. and then I work until I go to bed at 9. So like, let's say I stop working at 8:55 to brush my teeth. A smart man learns from his mistakes, and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. I've been a fool many times, and it seems like I'm sort of trying not to figure things out. I've been smart a fair amount of time. I've rarely been wise. One thing I wish I could have been wise about is chasing money. So I chased money for almost 10 years, just all out every day. That's what I said. I'm here to get rich, to make good on the promise that I made to my wife and to her father-in-law, or to my father-in-law. And it was soul destroying because I had to work so hard to get here and to face my inadequacies daily, to be humbled daily, to realize how dumb you can be daily. So in this whole process, I did not come to think a lot about Tom. I came to think a lot about the human animal and realizing, oh my God, we all have the ability to change. And if people really knew who I was before, because they have a hard time believing it when they see me now, but I'm like, go ask my mom, who was surprised that I succeeded. Ask my father-in-law, who did not want me to marry his daughter. Ask my best friend. All the people who knew me the most were like, we did not expect you to be successful. My mom recently told me that when I told her I was going to get rich, that her and my aunts and uncles used to laugh at me behind my back because they were like, bless this kid, he's just a dreamer, but he's never actually going to get rich. So when you realize, no, like there is a process to go from hopelessly average to accomplishing something really extraordinary, and that any human who meets what I call minimum requirements, unfortunately there are minimum requirements, but if you're watching this show, I promise you meet minimum requirements. So if you do that and then you put in the work, you can get the result. And I'll say that the result is fulfillment. You're not necessarily ever going to achieve wealth, but you can achieve deep fulfillment, do amazing shit, serve yourself, serve other people. Like, you can do some really, really incredible stuff. I don't want people focused on the money, because the money's not going to change how you feel. But if you focus on the fulfillment of technique, building up this rad skill set that's letting you serve yourself and other people, and then marry it to business savvy, your odds of becoming financially successful skyrocket. So that's where I hope people get their heads around that fulfillment really is the punchline. But if you want to express that in a way that generates wealth for yourself, it is very, very real. That is a very real possibility.